What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we cover everything you need to know about on a daily basis: money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about here today, so let's just jump right in. As you can see here, stimulus update: as inflation soars, Americans grow desperate for financial help. The most recent inflation reading here shows the U.S. inflation at 8.5% for the month of March. That is at a 40-year high. And the problem here is that it's affecting pretty much all areas of the US economy and people. You can see here the USDA says all food prices will increase in 2022, especially for these five foods, which are fats and oils like olive oils, canola oils, and just in general oils, as you can see here, like maybe coconut oil as well, healthy oils, avocado oils, poultry like chickens. And remember, there's a massive bird flu going around where they have had to cull or put down over 1 million birds right now. Yeah, that's really sad, actually. Fresh fruit, um, yeah, that has already risen between 5 and 6% this year alone, as well as vegetables are on the rise as well here in 2022. Also, dairy as well as yogurts. Quote, USDA says rapid increases in the consumption of dairy products have driven increases in retail prices in recent months. The USDA now predicts that dairy prices will increase between a total of 4 and 5% in 2022. And eggs are also kind of affected by that bird flu going around here as well. Many people have already noticed the price of eggs going up here dramatically. We also have massive price increases because of the war in Ukraine and with Russia on other such things here, on wheat and oils produced, the sunflower seeds and things like that, because Russia and Ukraine combined produce up to 30% of some of those grains and other things produced between those two countries combined. And that has helped raise the price massively of those several different items there. Even if the US doesn't buy any of these items, just like gasoline, as we've seen oil and gasoline, it raises the price globally for the whole world. Yeah, so a couple things that will affect these prices, well, and really a lot of food prices here, um, is the war. Because one, gas prices, everything has to be shipped to a grocery store. Okay, even if it's produced here in the United States, it still has to be shipped via a semi truck, which is diesel. Okay, so there is some type of price included in there for shipping. Then you also have the price of all these raw goods going up: wheat, grains, flour, corn, oils, sunflowers, all these things going up here across the world because of supply chain shortages, chicken, eggs, which one came first? Yeah, so there's significant things here. And because of the lockdowns in China, check this out. Yeah, as you can see here, China's lockdowns could trigger a logistics snarl that may dwarf 2020 and 2021. Of course, we're still dealing with these here today, worldwide, even here in the US. Many goods are stuck in China at the moment and are a quote big problem looms for the global economy. In the last few weeks, China has been battling its most severe virus outbreak on the mainland since its initial shock of the pandemic in early 2020. And you can see here that China has just locked down 50 million people amid stealth Omicron fears. And the former FDA head predicts what could happen next. Remember, in China, they're really locked down. They're not allowed to leave their homes. People are being arrested and thrown in jail, and it's really severe there. It's not like what our quote lockdown was here in the US. They're literally locked down, not allowed to leave their homes. At first, they were allowed to leave and go get groceries, and now they're not even allowed to do that. The groceries get delivered to them. They're literally not allowed to leave. And you might think, well, Jimmy, what does this have to do with us? This is China. It's half a world away. But if you've watched my show before, I've mentioned go down the aisle of Walmart and not in the food aisle, but go down like the cleaning supply aisle, or the toy aisle, or um, the shoe aisle, or anything that's not like a perishable item. And if you've got 5 minutes, just turn a bunch of random items around and see where they're made. And you'll notice that the vast majority of products just don't say they're made in the USA. And as much as you'd probably like them to be made in the USA, number one, it would cost a lot more money. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's just the way it is. Especially with minimum wages starting to go much higher here in the U.S. The minimum wage for $15 an hour, as opposed to 7.25, which is the federal minimum wage, and a lot of wages, a lot of workers wanting a lot more money. It's just kind of the way things are here in the U.S. It's just a lot more money to make things here in the U.S. And it's been this way for a while. It's not something that can instantly be changed. But they are trying to make more things here, like semiconductors and other things like that here in the US. But a lot of small plastic goods and shoes and things like that are just not made here in the US. So when you walk down the aisle, Walmart or CVS or any store, turn around 20 different products and see where they're made. Well, what would happen tomorrow if all those products were significantly delayed and couldn't get here? Imagine if all those items were bare on the shelves. Yeah, remember when we had a run on toilet paper and people couldn't buy toilet paper? Imagine if that was all the items on the shelf. Yeah, so this is we're already starting to see some of this happen because you've seen the headline there. They have over 50 million people in lockdown, which means significant shipping delays on everything. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And of course, we also have the war in Ukraine, which is raising the prices on all sorts of things: wheat, flour, grain, and oil, and gas. And President Zelensky actually recently said that he don't know if this war is going to go on for another few weeks, another few months, or another few years. Another few years. And he said this. Zelensky says two factors determine how long the war will last, and says up to 3,000 Ukrainian soldiers are dead now, which is, all this is really sad. There's no winners here. And remember, this is affecting higher prices on oil, gas, wheat, grains, everything across the world. Across the whole world. Ukrainian President Zelensky, in his latest address to the nation, said there's been different predictions about how long the war with Russia will last, but says two factors will determine that. He added, if someone says year or years, I answer, you can make that war much shorter. And he says two factors determine how long the war will last. He says some say a few weeks, others say several years, or until the end of this year. And some advises to prepare for a permanent confrontation with Russia as long as it exists. He says the success of our military on the battlefield is really significant, historically significant. In fact, Russia has actually kind of withdrawn from Kyiv, the capital city, and has now moved on to other regions because they literally just couldn't even make progress. But not enough to clean our land from the occupiers yet. We'll beat them more. Sanctions against Russia are very significant, Zelensky says, economically painful, but still not enough for the Russian military machine to be left without means of substance. We promote stronger, more destructive ones. These two areas, he says, will determine how long this war will last. The amount of support for Ukraine literally defines how many more Ukrainians the occupiers will manage to kill. Yeah, this is how important he says that support for Ukraine is. It literally matters in their lives. He says, quote, if someone says year or years, I answer, you can make the war much shorter. The more and the sooner we get all the weapons we have requested, the stronger our position will be, and the sooner peace will come. The sooner the democratic world recognizes that the oil embargo against Russia and the complete blockade of its banking sector and necessary steps towards peace, the sooner the war will end. Yeah, so President Zelensky, as well as countries in Europe, and are now considering a complete, really kind of what the U.S. has done, a complete Russian oil embargo where they don't buy any Russian oil at all. And if they do this, could significantly shorten the war, because remember that Russia's economy mainly depends on the sale of their oil. Their oil and their gas is a major part of their economy. And if everybody stops buying it, or a large part of Europe stops buying it, that would be a major blow to their economy. In fact, you can see here, worldwide global ratings agencies are already saying that Russia is at a risk of a full default. They've already put them in a selective default, um, but they're saying that Russia could have a full default. And really, can you imagine if all of Europe stops buying their oil? That could be the end for Russia economically. They could literally just run out of money, not have enough money to function. That could be the end of the war, or could force their hand, but we will see. And all of this is significant here for us at home because the faster we can do this, it one helps prevent World War III, which Finland and Sweden are now actually, Finland actually has thousands of people training for, because Russia actually threatened them with nukes if well, they actually just threatened them in general here just in the last few days, because they're thinking about joining NATO, which actually probably makes them want to join NATO more because they're unprotected, basically, just like Ukraine is. So Russia could attack them tomorrow, and they're kind of in a situation like Ukraine where they're not in NATO. And then the rest of the world's like, well, we don't know if we want to defend them because they're not in NATO, they're not in the EU. Well, I'm not sure if they're in the EU or not. But the problem here is that if you're not protected by these other countries, nobody wants to defend them because Russia has nukes. Russia has nukes, and that's a significant thing. Well, NATO, if you're in NATO or if you're in the EU, that's a different story because they're bound by treaties. It's a declaration of war. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So if you attack a country in NATO, you have to. It's a declaration of war against all the countries, including the United States. It's basically the start of World War III. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So this is why it's a very, very significant thing, because of inflation, the price of everything, the price of oil, the price of food, and potential World War III. So this is anybody that says that this war doesn't affect us doesn't really kind of understand everything that's going on. And I mean, literally, Finland and Sweden have people on their training right now for potential World War III. And I mean, this is why all these other countries right now are supplying arms to Ukraine and money. It's not just the US. I mean, um, basically all of Europe has provided billions and billions and billions of dollars. Even Sweden, a historically neutral country, has actually provided them with, support as well. Even China supported Ukraine here with a couple of different shipments. But yeah, let me know your thoughts here in the comments because it's tough because this is one situation, and we also have the China lockdowns, which are also could be getting worse and could also make shipping rates go much higher here. And if that happens, that makes inflation go up here as well. It's just crazy how this whole pandemic. It's weird because a lot of Americans don't really think of the pandemic right now here in the U.S. But in China, they have 50 million people on lockdown. Cases are actually going up here in the U.S. here as well. But yeah, and the question is, we could literally be just a few weeks away from another spike here in the US as well. I know everybody wants it to be over, but I mean, look at how many different spikes we've had here in the US as well. And yeah, it's a global economy. I mean, we literally get things shipped from all over the world, and prices on everything is affected from all over the world here as well. You look at price of oil, the price of gas, the price of flour, the price of wheat, the price of food. It's all affected. It affects us all here. And when you go to the grocery store and you look at the prices, when you go to the gas pump and you look at the prices, and remember, they're paying $8 a gallon for gas in the United Kingdom, and almost $6 a gallon for a gas in Canada if you equate it to US dollars and equate it from liters to gallons. This is a global problem. This is a global problem. So, and this is part of the reasons why so many Americans are hurting, but everybody's hurting. And all this is part of the problem on how we fix it. How we fix it. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Luckily, we have a lot of states that are flush with cash with billions and billions of dollars. I've been keeping you up to date here on all these different states that are in the process or actually passing stimulus checks here on the state level, as well as hopefully here on the federal level as well. Um, so, yeah, let me know your thoughts here. Also, I want to wish you guys here a happy Easter weekend as hopefully you're celebrating, if you celebrate Easter, that is. And my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody here on Easter weekend. And may God bless you. And I hope you have a peaceful weekend here this weekend. We'll have another special guest appearance here for you guys tomorrow. So, as always, may God bless you. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can also click here to see new stimulus checks that were just passed just yesterday, I believe. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.